All right, so today we're diving into something pretty unique. It's this website, see, and it's selling a handmade book called, get this, The Book, The Ultimate Guide to Rebuilding a Civilization. I mean, come on, that title alone, right?
Yeah, no kidding. It definitely grabs your attention. And then when you start looking at the scope of this thing, you realize they're not messing around.
No, no, not at all. They're talking about a 400-page guide to like essential technologies, processes, materials, the whole shebang, all throughout history.
And illustrated too, right?
Oh yeah, totally. All these detailed handmade illustrations. I was checking out the section on their website that shows how the illustrations developed from the initial drafts, and it's seriously impressive stuff.
The thing that gets me is how they blend that engineering precision with like almost a medieval art style.
You know, you're right. It's not just about presenting the info clearly. They're trying to make it beautiful, too.
Right, exactly. Rebuilding civilization can be beautiful too.
I like that. I like that a lot. And speaking of, the creators, Seva and Timur, actually say, and I'm quoting here, this book reveals how new ideas emerge from the world, independent of specific inventors, across different multiverses.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's not just, hey, let's copy what we did before. It's about understanding how invention happens on like a fundamental level.
That multiversal perspective is pretty wild when you think about it. Like, the knowledge isn't limited to just our history or our world.
It's like tapping into this universal, I don't know, wellspring of human ingenuity.
Exactly. And they're very clear that it's a tribute to the human imagination made for dreamers by dreamers.
Not just a practical manual then. It's like a work of art itself almost.
That definitely comes across in how they present it. Both the book and the website, they're aiming for a certain level of quality and craftsmanship for sure.
Yeah, and that's reflected in the price too. It's $189. Not exactly an impulse buy.
No, not really. But they do offer free shipping to some countries and a 30-day money-back guarantee.
Oh, and there's a premium gift box option too, if you want to really go all out.
Okay, so maybe an impulse buy for the right person. I mean, if you're shopping for, like, the ultimate prepper.
Right, for that post-apocalyptic birthday party.
Exactly. But joking aside, they seem to be playing on both the practicality and the book's aesthetic appeal.
Totally. So enough about the looks. Let's dive into what this book actually covers. And they really do seem to cover it all. Medicine, basic materials, farming, mechanisms.
All the bases for, starting over.
Right. But then, this is where it gets interesting for me. There's a whole section on military arts.
Military arts.
Yeah. I get that defending yourself might be important, if the world goes sideways, but it's not the first thing I think of when I hear rebuilding civilization.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what kind of world they're envisioning. Is it all cooperation and collaboration, or is it, every person for themselves?
That's a great point. What are they assuming about how things will play out? Adds a whole other layer to it, doesn't it?
It really does.
Okay, but wait, there's more. Just when you think they've covered every essential aspect of survival, they throw in a section on entertainment.
Entertainment. Okay, so they're not all doom and gloom.
Not at all. It's like, yeah, rebuilding society is serious business, but hey, let's have some fun too.
And what kind of fun are we talking here?
Oh, card games.
Yeah.
How to make a phenakistoscope.
Oh, what?
Oh, yeah, it's this device that creates the illusion of motion. A spinning disc with a series of images, like early animation.
Ah, okay, I got it. So old school fun.
Old school fun. But, and they kind of hinted this on the website, it's not all G-rated. Let's just say they cover a range of interests.
Interesting.
Yeah, a little eyebrow raising. But hey, who am I to judge? Maybe we'll need all the fun we can get.
I mean, it does add that human touch to the whole project. Reminds us that even in tough times, people need connection, joy.
And maybe a few laughs.
Yeah, exactly. But, it's not all survival and entertainment. They also have a whole section on society.
Society. Okay, what's in that?
Rituals, etiquette, how to communicate across culture. It's like they're thinking about rebuilding the social fabric, too, not just the physical world.
That's a really good point. So it's practical A&D, philosophical, wouldn't you say? A guide to skills A&D, a reflection on what it means to be human.
I think you nailed it.
I mean, it's a lot to process, but I'm definitely intrigued.
Me too. And I think what really sells it is that it's not just theoretical. It's a real, tangible object. A beautiful handmade book.
Right. And they've put so much effort into making it accessible and engaging. This is not your average textbook.
Definitely not. The website alone is a testament to that. Well-designed, easy to navigate, and even has an FAQ section and multiple currency options.
And you know what else? They sold over 100,000 copies worldwide, And they have an average rating of 4.9 out of 5 stars.
Wow, that's impressive.
It really is. Clearly, this thing is resonating with people.
It seems like they've tapped into something, you know? Maybe it's that practical knowledge people are after. Maybe it's the art. Or maybe it's just that desire to connect with something bigger than themselves.
Maybe a little bit of everything.
Probably. And you know, one thing that really struck me about the website, it's how much they emphasize the handmade nature of the book and all that detail in the illustrations. Like, they're really proud of that.
Yeah, totally. They even talk about how they didn't want to make just another boring textbook or manual.
Right.
They wanted to create something beautiful and inspiring. And I got to say, based on the sample pages on their website, they succeeded. It's a really nice looking book.
It is, and I think that visual appeal is a big part of their strategy, you know? To make the information more accessible, more engaging, it's like they're trying to tell a story, not just present facts.
That's a good point. A story about human ingenuity, the power of knowledge.
Hmm.
Makes me wonder, do you think that's part of why this is resonating with people? Like, is there some kind of, I don't know, prepper mentality out there? A sense that we need to be ready for anything.
Could be. There's definitely a growing awareness of self-sufficiency, resilience, those kind of things.
Yeah.
But I also think there's just that basic human desire to connect with the past, to understand how things work.
And to feel empowered by that knowledge.
Yeah. So maybe it's a little bit of both.
Probably. But it's not just about surviving, right?
Yeah.
It's about rebuilding something better, something more beautiful.
Absolutely. And I think that's where the whole multiversal thing comes in. They're not just saying, copy what we've done before.
Right.
It's more like, learn from different perspectives, different timelines, different possibilities.
And use our imagination to create something truly new.
Exactly.
Okay, but let's get real for a second. If you had to pick one section of this book to take back in time with you, which would it be? The practical stuff like medicine or farming, or something more focused on art and culture.
Oh, man, that's a tough one. And the practical stuff is obviously essential for survival. But, the arts and culture, that's what gives life meaning.
And purpose.
That's what makes us human, right?
Right. And it's not like this book ignores that. It's got sections on music, storytelling, games. You get it. We need more than just food and shelter. We need beauty, connection, joy.
Exactly.
This project is just so fascinating. It's more than a survival guide. It's like a whole reflection on what it means to be human, you know, what we value, what we want to build.
Totally.
I'd love to hear what our listeners think about this. Which section would they choose? And why? Hit us up on social media. Let's have a conversation about it.
And in the meantime, if you want to explore this whole project yourself, we've got a link to their website in the episode description. You can check out sample pages, read reviews.
Even order a copy if you're feeling inspired.
Yeah, it's definitely worth a look.
But you know what really stood out to me while browsing their website?
Yeah.
It was that military arts section.
Oh, yeah, that was a bit of a surprise.
It does feel a little out of place, considering all the emphasis on rebuilding a better world and all.
Yeah, it's a bit jarring, isn't it? Like, on the one hand, you've got all this knowledge about essential skills, building a society, and then on the other hand, you've got instructions on how to build a trebuchet.
And use gunpowder.
Right. Makes you think about their vision of the future, doesn't it? Do they think conflict is inevitable? Or are they just, being practical, acknowledging that self-defense might be necessary?
I mean, it's probably a little bit of both. Hard to say for sure.
Yeah. Even in a perfect world, conflict could still happen.
True.
And while they don't explicitly condone violence, they do seem to be acknowledging it as, well, a reality.
It's a really interesting choice. And it kind of speaks to the complexity of the whole thing. Like, there's no easy answers when it comes to rebuilding civilization.
Right. It's not black and white. There are so many factors to consider.
And that's what makes this book so thought-provoking. It makes you think about all these different aspects.
It does.
But speaking of different aspects, what about that entertainment section? You wouldn't necessarily expect to find that in a guide to rebuilding civilization.
Yeah, it's a little unexpected. But then again, when you think about it, it makes sense. We need that human connection. We need joy. We need to have fun.
Exactly. And they cover a pretty wide range of options in that section. Card games, music, even instructions for how to build a phenakistoscope, that early animation device.
It's like they're saying, hey, even in tough times, don't forget to create, to play, to express yourself.
And, let's not forget the more adult forms of entertainment they mentioned.
Right.
Which, again, might seem out of place at first, but maybe it's just part of their commitment to presenting a complete picture of what it means to be human.
Yeah, it's like a reminder that even when we're rebuilding, we're still, well, us, with all our complexities and desires.
And maybe those aspects become even more important in a world that's been stripped down to the essentials.
Yeah, maybe. It's an interesting thought. Who knows what else we might find tucked away in those pages?
Right. Like a journey of a discovery.
A celebration of human ingenuity.
And a reminder that even when faced with the unknown, we still have the power to rebuild, to create, to find joy.
Beautifully said.
You know, it's funny. I was thinking about this book as a gift. Like, who would you even give this to?
Oh, yeah. Who's the target audience here?
Right. Is it for preppers?
Hmm.
People who love, like, artisan crafts? I feel like it could appeal to a lot of different people.
I think you're right. And their website definitely reflects that. All the different options they offer, the different currencies, it feels very global.
Yeah, they got free shipping to a ton of countries. And then there's that premium gift box option. It's like they're going for that high-end collector's item feel.
And they're not being shy about the price either. $189 is a statement.
It is. It's interesting, right? Because on the one hand, it's this practical guide to rebuilding civilization.
Right.
But on the other hand, it's also like this beautiful art object, a conversation piece.
It's both. And I think that's part of the appeal. It's not just about the information, it's about the experience.
Yeah, holding this beautiful handmade book, it's like you're connecting with something bigger.
Totally. It's almost like a physical representation of resilience, of human potential.
Our ability to adapt and overcome challenges.
Exactly.
And even though, we might not be facing an apocalypse anytime soon, who knows?
Right.
The knowledge in this book could still be valuable.
Oh, absolutely. In so many ways. It reminds us that knowledge is power, that creativity is essential.
And that human connection is what really matters.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
So I guess what we're saying is, if you're looking for a truly unique gift, something that celebrates human ingenuity, the power of knowledge,
This book might be it.
it just might be.
And even if you're not looking to buy it, I still encourage you to check out their website. We'll put a link in the episode description. You can see sample pages, read reviews. They've even got a video about how they made the book.
It's really well done.
It is.
But before we wrap up, we want to leave you with one final thought. This book presents a vision of the world, starting from scratch. So what knowledge, what skills, what stories would you want to preserve and pass on?
What would be most essential for building a better world?
Let us know what you think. Until next time, happy exploring.